Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I've been keeping you up to date on the world of DUNE or DUNE, however you want to say it, over the last few weeks. And what I want to do today is bring you confirmation, essentially, of some leaks which have dropped, and then also discuss some of the leaks and rumours behind the scenes, and just bring everyone up to speed on the current landscape. There's also been some fantastic leaked images of the Ornithopter, which doesn't seem to have gotten any traction anywhere, so I really want to bring you that because I think that has fallen by the wayside as well. Now, what I will say, in this video you can take everything with a pinch of salt. It is from my sources, also friends of mine's sources who run another channel. They cannot be independently verified, so please do take it with a pinch of salt. But it is really important to note that the track record of where these sources have come from have 9 times out of 10 always been on point. You only have to take a look through my back catalogue of, say, the Predator videos or Godzilla King of the Monster videos along with Star Wars to see that these sources do tend to be true. Again, even comparing it to the likes of Terminator Dark Fate, those leaks came out. Myself had some exclusives and they were all confirmed. So yes, please do take it with a pinch of salt. But also, you can kind of say that this is true as well. Now, the DUNE leaks on December 28th, Midnight's Edge, a friend of the channel, revealed rumours and leaks from behind the scenes of the production of DUNE. No production troubles. There's actually nothing wrong with the shoot at this point in time. In fact, all delays and setbacks are purely for the betterment of the movie. There is no studio interference. I repeat, there is absolutely no studio interference and no meddling, which I know may come as a huge surprise to everyone, but Denis Villeneuve is not a man that has studio producers or executives over his shoulder. They do trust him to create a fantastic end product. Now, I know a lot of people will probably jump at Blade Runner 2049's box office results as a reason as to why studio executives may be looking over his shoulder, but I wouldn't say that that movie failed, in fact, on any level. Yes, it did not hit a good box office taking, but that's nothing to do with Denis Villeneuve's result as a director. Now, one thing which may give a lot of people pause for applause is Denis' major inspiration is in fact the David Lynch movie with respect to the aesthetic, the tone and the colour grading. Now, this is something which Denis has actually got a history of doing. He did it with Blade Runner 2049. He used Ridley Scott's original film as a very inspired jumping off point for his own production. So again, this is something which he has done before with great success, and I think that this bodes very, very well, at the very least with the aesthetic and the colour grading, obviously upgraded with modern technology for the DUNE production. Now, something which may get people's hackles up, but again, don't worry, this is nothing for an ideological perspective. The movie will take a greater page from the novels and focus a little bit more on the Bene Gesserit sisterhood. Lady Jessica, in fact, will have an elevated role, which is, with respect to characters and their power set, does actually make sense. You know, what they're able to do and how they can impact the story. This is not a cause for concern in any shape or form. This is not, and I do repeat this is not an ideologically based change, but it is something to bolster the story to the better end result of the movie. Now, it does make sense that this would be bolstered up. The sisterhood are the strings that tie every house together, and as such, exploring that connective tissue allows the story to unfold in a much more natural way without needless exposition to introduce the viewer to what is essentially a very hefty lore-based universe. Now, again, this movie actually only takes place in essentially the first half of one book, so to introduce everyone to this universe, it needs to be done in an organic way, which is why the Bene Gesserit sisterhood has an elevated role. Also, it's important to note that Denis is fantastic at handling strong females in his movies. So again, not a pause for concern. Please do not worry. You only need to take a look at Blade Runner 2049 to realise that he is very good at this. And again, Sicario, again, Arrival. He is good at handling strong females. Now, it also serves to introduce people somewhat to the HBO Max spin-off series Dune: The Sisterhood. And again, for all those crying ideological drama at this point, I encourage you, go and read the books, and you will see that this is a perfectly fine way to adapt it, and it really does make sense. However, again, this is where I will say that some people may have some concern here. There is one thing which may get people's hackles up. Okay, a character has been gender and race swapped. However, before we all get crazy and we cry woke, the character's gender is actually not, again, it's really not that integral to them in any way, shape or form. I will say though, the swap does appear to be one of those things which is somewhat needless. In some ways I can see that argument, but I have a great faith in Denis. Now, the character that has been gender and race swapped is Imperial Plantologist Dr. Leet Kynes. The role will be bolstered slightly, but not massively. And the reasoning that both myself and Midnight's Edge have heard for this change is for an organic purpose, not an ideological one. It is in fact to facilitate the casting of Zendaya, as she will still be the daughter of Kynes and a Fremen. So, yes, it does make sense, still a bit silly, but I have faith in Denis. Now, it does, of course, remain to be seen, but I do have faith in Denis, and as far as where this movie rounds itself out, because again, this is only the first half of one book, it is said to end with Paul Atreides fighting for control of the Fremen. So, the end of this movie will be a bit of a cliffhanger in some regards, but a natural end to the film and a good climax, which will hopefully get a sequel. And something which will hopefully get people very, very excited for a sequel as well, because of course this film needs to do well to get a sequel. Now, we have also had some behind the scenes leaks which have been photographed. Here we can clearly see what resembles an ornithopter. Now, as far as I can see, this is an incredibly welcome sight. I mean, Denis is an auteur who does enjoy practical effects where possible. So to see the ornithopter in live action, practical, is going to be truly amazing, genuinely. It's even to scale, which is just insane to see, which is another positive for all those that may have found some of the previous news to be somewhat disheartening. Again, this is something which we saw in Blade Runner 2049. So this is a massively welcome sight. And to see the ornithopter in live action, practical, is going to be truly amazing, which is another positive for all those that may have found some of the previous news and leaks to be somewhat disheartening. Now, we also have some behind the scenes images of the cast and crew on location, and the twilight shots on the sand dunes look utterly stunning, something which is to be expected from a Denis Villeneuve movie. And we also have had the logo leaked online, which was photographed at a French convention that Warner Brothers attended. The logo itself is a beautiful design in and unto itself. Yes, it is simplistic. However, it is in fact greatly original in that simplicity. It shows the art direction that Denis is taking and the kind of aesthetic that we are to expect from the film. And we also had the release date confirmed in that logo, the 23rd of December. Although this is not officially released to the public as yet, so that date may change. We also had confirmation from footage reactions that the role of Kynes will be a surprise change, i.e. confirming the earlier reports by Midnight's Edge and myself that the character will be played by a black woman and somewhat beefed up. But all of the footage reactions were incredibly positive, and although this is something we have heard all too many times before from films in production with the likes of Batman vs Superman and Star Wars, This is something that I am inclined to believe, not from a basis of blind fandom. However, this is because of my belief in DUNE and his track record. Now, of course, the footage was only screened to selective individuals, and yes, this is because the studio wanted a specific reaction, but it is also that they wanted specific individuals' opinions. And yes, you can lean either way on this, but I, myself, am choosing to lean on the more positive, though I do acknowledge the potential for negativity. Now, myself and Midnight's Edge have not heard anything to be concerned by from our inside sources, and yes, like I said, these cannot be independently verified, but it is important to note that each time myself or Midnight's Edge drop these leaks, they have a very good track record of being verified in the final product, such as Terminator Dark Fate, The Predator, Star Wars, Godzilla, Hellboy, and so on and so forth. Further to this, on the 31st of January, Midnight's Edge released more information from their inside sources that confirmed the beefed up role of the Sisterhood as a narrative one. This is to serve the story and to not inflate the movie with narration, much like Lynch's film did. The explanations come from the most part by the Bene Gesserit and Lady Jessica. She is the mechanism by which we are brought up to speed on the world of DUNE over the last 1,000 years, with her interaction with Paul, which is a change from the Lynch's movie to DUNE's adaptation, which I feel makes an awful lot of sense. So there you go, that is bringing everything up to speed on the world of DUNE, the leaks, behind the scenes images, photographs, and all of the rumours. What do you guys think of this? I'd love to hear all of your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you want to stay up to date on everything in the world of DUNE, please do hit subscribe and turn your notifications on for all videos, as I will be dropping extended pieces on this as things go by. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I have been Mr. H. Take care.